Hey, it's Dorleen and welcome to my creative life. Today I'm working in my junk journal. I haven't been in here for quite a while, so it was kind of fun. I almost felt like I had to because my daughter gave me her paint palette and said, Mom, I have extra paint. What are you going to do with it? So I said, give it to me. I'll create something. So the orange right away made me think of pumpkins. And even though it is the beginning of August, I am ready for fall. It's been so hot. We've had lots of triple digit weather. And so I thought I'm just going to make some pumpkins. And I started just doing it on this page on the right, which is actually the inside of a large envelope. I love the pattern on there because it already gives you something on the page. So it's not a blank page that you're working on. So part of me was like, you know what? It's in a sense a 2-page spread. I'm going to go ahead and put the pumpkin over on that left page as well. But if you notice the image on that page, it's a book page. It actually came from this little golden book. It's just really too much. I should have either put some white on it or did something first. So I don't pay much attention to it. And as a matter of fact, I don't even end up using it, but you'll see that later. So the first thing I did obviously was use my favorite tools, which are my fingers, and I put some orange blobs to emulate pumpkins. I used a chalk pencil, and now I'm using these distress crayons that are from Ranger, and these are a lot of fun. They're kind of waxy, but not as waxy as a crayon. They spread really easy. They're very smooth, but what I like about them is, and you'll see me when I use it in a little bit with the yellow, is I like to add a little bit of water to my fingers and then rub it, and it really rubs like almost like a watercolor, depending on how thick it is. But these are really fun distress crayons to use. Now these are also distress crayons, but these are from Vicky Bouton. Now I have a ton of stuff in this drawer that's to the left underneath my desk, and I just have like all these random things. I always look at like off the wall places, like I'm talking like a Ross or a TJ Maxx, or those kind of stores where they just have random stuff, because you can find some really inexpensive but also good crafting supplies or art supplies. I buy a lot of my alcohol markers this way as well. And even though you always hear Copic, I don't own one Copic marker. Not to say that they're not worth it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I don't invest so much money when I'm really just playing. And I think all of these brands are nice. So as I'm drawing my leaf, you can tell it looks like I don't even know what it looks like. It looks horrible. So I am not happy with that. I tried to rub it out, which I couldn't do. This little container here has some white acrylic paint, and usually I add a lot of water and then I use it as a spray. And I think that thing was just so dry. It was really thick. But you know what? I used my finger and I took out that thick acrylic white paint, and it worked perfectly to cover that awful leaf that I attempted to draw over there on the right and this pumpkin. So at that point I realized I'm not using that left side as the pumpkin or as a 2-page spread. Now when I finished painting the pumpkins on the right side, I still had a little bit of paint, so I did grab some book pages and I just used the rest of that ink on those book pages. And those I call painty papers. I use these a lot for backgrounds for cards and other projects. So I'm putting it here just because I don't want to look at that ugly blob over there on the left, but I do end up adhering it to that left side. Now again, I'm using some of those crayons. You saw me a minute ago using the water to fill those up. Now that shot glass was a gift. One of my friends traveled, I want to say Puerto Rico. I can't remember off the top of my head because I have a couple of them actually. And so they're just perfect for a little bit of water that I need for my craft room. I don't need like huge jars of it when I'm just playing like this. But I'm just covering up that page. I use a lot of different things. Like I said, I use those distressed crayons. This one is like a gray, so I'm using it as a shadow. And I really, really love the way that looked. And then if I put like my finger to wet it, it just looks so great. But so I use the distress crayons, I use the chalk pencils, I use the acrylic paint, and you'll see me in a minute pull out a white paint pen, which I don't know about you, and this is just, maybe I need help, but I can never find a good paint pen, or actually a good white paint pen. I feel like they work great when you first take them out, but then you pop that lid back on and then you go back to use it, and it's horrible. And it doesn't matter what brand I use. I just have the worst luck with white paint pens. So you'll see me play with that as I try to get as much of that ink as I can. I grabbed this really dark blue, kind of teal, and you saw me put those circles over on the left side. I thought I'd do something really fun over here on that right side, and then I realized I hated it. So I just added some water, because at this point it's on there, right? But you see how it turns in kind of like a watercolor, and then it just kind of gives a little shadow. I love that. And it's also kind of greenish because I had that with that yellow. So I think it just looks so perfect. I love how, even though you might not like something, it's not the final, or it doesn't ruin your final spread, because you just keep going, folks, or at least that's how I look at it. This is a junk journal, literally junk, bound in a, between the covers of another book that was, could be in the junk pile. And if I don't like it, I just paint over it. I think that's what's really freeing about the junk journal, is I just feel like I'm okay with it. I'm so fearless as far as trying new things, because I just don't think it's, I'm not even sure the right word. I just feel like there's some freedom in this. I think that's why I really enjoy playing in the junk journal, because I'm just doing this for myself. And, and you guys too, I guess. But hopefully I'd encourage you to just try some of these things. Now, you saw how I was using that white paint marker, and see how it works in some places, then it blobs up in others. And so now I decided to just use a black, this is just like a big fine point marker, but I put my hand way at the tip, so I had like a really loose grip on it. And then I wanted just some really loose lines, because I didn't want them real harsh or straight, or not straight, but obviously hard and edges around. I just wanted it really loose, really fun. And I think that really helps when you hold it at that top, the top of the pen, instead of holding it like you would if you were writing. And I just wrote, "I love fall most of all." Kind of tried to do a couple of different little fonts. I really think I need to take a writing lesson, although I do like my penmanship. It's just that I want to learn how to make fun letters. So I just kind of drew some little marks. I did like a little checkerboard kind of thing right here. And, nothing fancy. It's just pretty basic. I do pull out, here's some more chalk pencils, just to add some more shadows and things like that. And I just love this little pumpkin thing. It turned out just so cute. I wish I knew how to draw a leaf, because I feel like it really did need a leaf, but you saw my leaf. I don't know how to draw one. Anyhow, I hope you like this video so far. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do try to post at least 2 videos a week. Sometimes I do more. One is always scrapbooking. The other is whatever it is I'm creating in the Command Center. The Command Center is the name of my craft room, and also the name of my blog. I love working in the junk journal, like I mentioned, because it's just so freeing and fun, and there's kind of no commitment. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody, just playing, which is always a good thing. And here I'm just adding some paint splatters, some orange ones. I do end up putting some black ones as well. But other than that, that's pretty much all I do. And I really do like the way this turned out, with all that just kind of splatter and splotches and lining and shadowing and just all that stuff. It's just so fun. And I love the ragged edges of the page as well. And I hope you do too. So thank you again for watching. Bye.